We're here to test a double check valve device. We can tell by the nameplate of the unit. This is a Febco Model 850, 3/4 inch size. Direction of flow is this way. There's a flow arrow cast into the top cover of the unit. Test cocks are 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've already installed the adapters in here for our test kit. So now we're going to flush our test cocks. Flushing 1, 2, 3, and 4. After the test cocks are flushed, we'd request permission to shut down and shut down the unit. Next, we're going to use our line pressure gauge to test our incoming line pressure. Hook it to test cock number 1. Open test cock number 1, bleed the gauge, and record your pressure. Close test cock number 1 and move the gauge to test cock number 4. We'll open test cock number 4, bleed the gauge, and record the downstream pressure. With this unit, no back pressure is present, so we'll be able to continue with the test. Close test cock number 4 and remove the line pressure gauge. To proceed with the test, we'll test our first check by hooking the high hose to test cock number 2 and turning on test cock number 2. Next, we'll hook the low hose to test cock number 3 and open test cock number 3. We'll open the high control valve on our gauge to bleed the high side. Open the low valve on the gauge to bleed the low side, and then record the differential. If the differential is 1 PSI or greater, the first check is considered good. Next, we'll close our test cocks. And move our hoses to test check number 2. Hook the high hose to test cock 3 and the low hose to test cock 4. Open the test cocks. Open the high to purge the high side. Open the low control valve to purge the low side, and then record your differential. Second check is good if the differential is 1 PSI or greater. Close test cocks 3 and 4. And now we'll check for no flow tightness. Disconnect our hoses. Connect our high hose to test cock number 2. And turn on test cock number 2. Hook our low hose to test cock number 3 and turn on test cock number 3. We'll purge high, purge low, check to make sure that we still have a differential. Next, we'll take our vent hose, open the low control valve to purge the air out of the vent hose, and connect it to test cock number 4. Next, we'll open test cock number 4, open the high control valve on the test kit, and close the number 2 shutoff. If the needle doesn't move, We verified that there is no flow going through the unit. Once that's complete, close test cocks 3 and 4, disconnect our hoses, and return the unit to service. This concludes the test of a double check valve backflow preventer.